So I've decided to make a quick tutorial for anybody who wants to check out Pawtato Land, a game I've been playing for quite a while now and I'm super hyped for. Pawtato Land is a Web 2.5 game. That means it's basically a hybrid between a blockchain-based game and a traditional Web 2 game, kind of combining the best of both worlds. So ownership over your assets, but not having to sign every single transaction that you are doing in the game. So to get started, you just create a new account using either one of your socials or a Sui wallet. Pawtato Land started on the Sui blockchain, but I heard they're going multi-chain soon. But for this tutorial, we are going to work with a Sui wallet. Once you created your account, you're immediately greeted with a onboarding tutorial that first asks you if you already own a hero, because a hero is needed to play the game. You can either buy a hero on Tradeport, an NFT marketplace on the Sui blockchain, or you can also just buy the hero in the game, but you would need to deposit some Tato token to do that, which we're gonna do in a moment. There are many heroes listed, so the first question you probably ask yourself is, which one do I want to buy? And honestly, it doesn't matter too much. Probably the best thing is if you go for what class you prefer playing or whatever visuals you like the most, as all heroes have the same potential. But if you have the luxury, there is one thing I can recommend for starters. Try to get a hero with at least 9 vitality, as HP is quite important in the early levels and makes everything a little bit easier for you to handle in the beginning. To now purchase the hero, we first need Tato token in our in-game wallet. So we need to transfer it from the on-chain wallet into the in-game wallet. This works via the Sui blockchain and I guess soon enough also from other blockchain wallets. With the Tato token in our backpack, we can now buy our first hero. There are some fees in the marketplace which help financing the project, so I'm happy to pay them. So successfully purchased, there is Silverton, and you can see it on the top left. He is already now in the hero portrait, and we're gonna check that out later. First, a few more buttons on the bottom. So you do have a marketplace where everything that's in the game can be traded, similar to a centralized exchange. There is also a merchant in the starter village that sells you some basic goods for Tato. You don't have to purchase those, but if you want to have a little bit of an easier start, I can recommend doing so. Most gear and items come from crafting, so there is a big crafting section where you can craft different consumables, refine materials, craft tools, and also equipment if you have the necessary materials. The onboarding tutorial ends with a sneak peek of the dungeon, but I'm gonna do a separate video on dungeons because this is not something that you immediately jump into starting the game. Your hero has to be a little bit stronger to challenge those. Before we jump into the gameplay, let's have a quick look at our hero, who is a almost naked dude right now, with no equipment, no skills, just his basic stats. You can reroll some of those stats if you have the respective resources. You can also change the name of the hero if you want so. But most importantly right now is the base stats and the combat attributes. So combat attributes, they derive from your base stats and are ultimately responsible for the outcome of a battle. So you have your base damage, which even if you don't have a weapon, you're just punching enemies with your paws, and other attributes like speed, critical strike, hit chance, evasion, and so on. New accounts will start out with a quest chain that introduces the core mechanics of the game and is starting with this little chatty potato in the middle of the village. We are not going to go through the quest line in this video as I don't want to spoil anything for you, but one important topic that I can only recommend checking out, and it's the second quest of the quest line that's directing you to the documentation of the game, where a lot of stuff is explained in detail. And for those out there that want to go deep into theory crafting and min-maxing your hero builds and strategies, it is quite important to understand the depths of the core mechanics of the game, which you can find in the documentation. A big part of the game are combat encounters, which give experience and loot, which help make your hero stronger by leveling up and also equipping him with the right items. Before we jump into our first fight, let's have a quick look on the world. So right now, only a small chunk of the continent is revealed, but it's already looking quite nice, and there's a lot of stuff to do in this limited area already. As you can see on the minimap on the top right corner, it's probably around like 3 to 5% of the world that we are seeing right now, which is gradually revealed and extended. In the onboarding quest chain, you are asked to fight a level 1 slime, which is basically the weakest enemy out there. And even though our hero is naked with no equipment and no skills, he should have no problem taking that one down. Combat in Pawtato Land is auto-resolving, so your challenge lies in selecting the right hero, the right skills, the right equipment for the respective combat encounter before starting the fight. Skill gems make a huge difference, so you should spend your first money on a decent skill gem, like Magic Missile, Ravage or Precision Strike. If you lose a fight, the combat log really helps you to check out what exactly happened, which skills the enemy uses, if their attack type is magical or physical, so you can potentially build against them. Some activities in Pawtato Land, like fighting enemies, consume stamina of your hero. Stamina regenerates automatically over the course of 1 day, and the regeneration can be sped up with stamina potions. I will now show you a little bit of endgame content on my profile. I'm currently owning 211 heroes, but I don't have the time to play the game fully with all of them. So most of them are sent on patrol, a kind of passive mode where they don't earn experience but can still find a few items for you while they are on patrol. The star in my collection and my favorite hero is Io Sunstone, a mage who already has some nice end game equipment and can use 2 skill gems at the same time since he reached level 5, which unlocks the second skill gem and is the current level cap. Also, after almost 1 year of playing, my backpack holds quite some items from resources or equipment, consumables, and so on. All of them have a real-time value, as you can see in the bottom right corner of the backpack, and can be traded on the order book exchange or marketplace. Right now, the biggest challenge is clearing dungeons, and we soon will have also player versus player content where our heroes can fight each other in the arena. The dungeon gameplay is quite special and deserves its own video, and I will of course also make a video once PvP is out. Next to the gameplay with the hero NFTs, there are also land NFTs. So you can become a landowner, which has its own perks and gameplay I'm also gonna address in a separate video. Lands can belong to one of 3 tribes, the Sproutkin, Amberclaws or Flowtails. Basically rival tribes that also battle each other on a regular basis in so-called tribal conflicts, which is a player versus player minigame where many people of the different tribes fight over 10 strongholds, trying to capture most of them in a round-based strategy game. Probably also worth its own video. I hope this one gave you a good overview of the game, and stay tuned for more content on Pawtato Land.